just the approach or mentality going on the road against a team that you just played and you kind of missed?
Yeah, you know that they're going to remember the visit they had here and that result we had, but it's down to the nitty gritty now. All these are all 6-point games this time of year, so it's going to be a tough game. We're expecting a battle, and we're going there with our eyes on 3 points.
Do you think having the top of the West race be kind of tight could work to your advantage a little bit in that the games still have a lot of intensity and a lot riding on it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these next 2 games for us, we're obviously not looking past Colorado, but Colorado and Kansas City, those are 2 huge games for us. So the first step of business is to go to Colorado, get a good result, and then kind of give ourselves a little more cushion there. And then, hopefully, I don't know the other teams' remaining schedules, but it's going to be a lot of West versus West just beating up on each other. And, there's still a lot of movement that's probably going to happen. But we control our own destiny in the West, and that starts with a good performance tomorrow night.
How much are you kind of looking at results and standings and such? I mean, especially like last weekend, it seemed like you were given a little bit of a favor.
Yeah.
Some of the teams that are chasing you losing. Is that?
Yeah, that worked out. Obviously not the result we wanted in Houston, but it didn't really backfire on us. Obviously, dropping points every time is a disappointment, but now like I said, we have another 6-point game against Denver. So it's going to be these are the games that determine seeding in the playoffs and going forward. And like I said, I don't think we're really focusing on where everybody else is at. I think we control our own destiny. Where if we take care of the task at hand, maintain 3 points, we're in the driver's seat.
It seems like almost half the season has been played in these kind of like congested periods here. And you guys have performed pretty well on that. What do you think the team outlook is on these sort of congested parts of the schedule?
Yeah, I feel like this year there's been a lot of like congested schedules where you'll have like maybe a week and a half off, and then 3 or 4 games in 7, 8, 9 days. So from a scheduling perspective, I don't really understand it too much, but I'm sure the league has their own reasons for that. But we have a really deep team, so I think it benefits us a lot because we got a lot of quality guys that can rotate in, a lot of depth and good quality on this roster, and I think that has really shown in these congested fixtures.
Understanding and knowing Colorado well, from your position, what are some of the things that need to be crisp for
Yeah, we're gonna need to maintain possession. I mean, we're a counterattacking team, but they got a lot of speed and they're a counterattacking team. So I don't think we're gonna want to get into a foot race with them, especially on the road. So I think being compact and being hard to play against, and kind of getting back to the way we were earlier in the season, which was very tough to play, hard-nosed, tough to break down. I think we get back to that style. We got best defense in the league, and we got quality to score goals. So that's a winning recipe.
Challenge the last couple of years. It's been like for you, your morale, just having a full season, being able to contribute this year.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. With, like you said, I remember back to the ACL. I was about to make my debut after a year of rehab, and then COVID hit. So it was tough on everybody. So it's been a long 2 years. It's nice to have kind of somewhat of a normal season. Back into getting into the flow of things, getting regular minutes, staying somewhat healthy with the little knee thing this year. But other than that, I feel like I'm getting fitter the more I'm playing, and it's been a while since I felt like that with a few 90s under my belt, and it's good.
Kellen is a player that's kind of hopped around for you guys, and he's a native back. What have you seen that much? I guess that pride of being back and playing for his hometown kind of.
Yeah, I'm sure he loves it after how many years he was away. I don't know exactly, 9 or 10 or something.
Welcome, man.
I'm sure he's happy to be back here and be playing for his hometown club and have family here. I'm sure, but I know he's not the type of person that's going to be like, oh, I'm just coming home. He wants to prove that he's still a very quality player, has a lot of good years left in it, and I think he's done a great job so far for us this year.
We talked a little bit about the depth and Leo Q's been added. What's it like for you mentally with so many different players that you interact with game to game? It just keeps shifting around.
Yeah, that's probably the only tough part of having such a deep squad is there's so many different combinations and lineups and formations you can play. So I won't say it's hard, but there's new guys coming in, you got to be on the same page, and sometimes when it's a lot of rotation, you know, you just have to focus a little more and kind of know who you're playing with and how they like to play, as opposed to just having the same lineup every game. So, you know, it's something that you work on at training, and you know, I think it's gelling together for us now later in the season.
As the season goes by, you learn.
Yeah, you start to understand more just being with them every day at training, and 5v2, small-sided. You start to learn how guys like to play and, you know, what their strengths and weaknesses are. And, you know, I mean, for me personally, I think I can pick up on that stuff pretty easily with players and kind of gel with them. So,
What do you make of
From last season's the Minnesota playoff win, especially with no fans.
yeah, that game was crazy. I can only imagine what it would have been like with a packed house at Lumen. It would have been crazy. You know, that was a special game because if I remember correctly, it was 2-0 in like the 75th minute or something. So the fact that we were able to get that first one, and then you could feel the pressure rising. We got the second and the third, but you know, I always think back on the what ifs. If that would have been a packed crowd, that probably would have been one of the best games to have been at.
Do you ever think about the contrast, you know, the 69,000 for the championship, and then, you know, having to play with nothing for that kind of game?
Yeah, for sure. It's you know, that's where your professionalism and your personal pride and everything has to kind of come forward, because when you play a whole season of going into stadiums that are empty, so some games were a little hard to get up for, especially with a long season. But that's when you just, you know, you got to grind through it mentally and know that it's all going to be worth it when everybody's back in the stands. It's like you don't take it for granted anymore.
You talked about controlling your own destiny in the West. Was there something and there's kind of the mirage, or you know, the dangling carrot of the potential supporter shield out there. Does the results kind of allow you to just focus on what's ahead of you instead of kind of looking ahead at what could be?
Honestly, for me, I'm not really focused on the supporter shield right now. I just think there's too big of a gap. I don't know the math on it, but I'm sure it's 1 in a million, as I like to quote Dumb and Dumber. But you know, it's something we're focusing on, getting first in the West, because there's a lot of crazy stuff happens in the playoffs. If we can get first in the West, we would still, I don't know exactly the final points, but we could still end up second and still host MLS Cup. So I think you know, it's something that we just focus on our task at hand, which is each game it's going to play Colorado, get 3 points there, and then worry about the next fixtures. And if we do that, I think we'll put ourselves in a really good position to have a lot of home field advantage.
How close do you
Last
feel
couple
that
for
your
Will, guys.
the team is to its full potential?
Yeah, we're getting there. I mean, Jordan's all in, Nico's back out on the field. We got a lot of guys still. I mean, Delem's still rehab. We got some more guys coming in, but you know, I don't think we've had this team healthy all year, and I think that just even speaks even more to the depth of this squad. So, you know, as we kind of, you know, inch forward towards full health and full availability, this is going to be a really, really dangerous team.